Just logging on here, and I noticed that there are a line of pandas roaming the hillside. I saw some pandas down here yesterday, but they were all penned in. What if they escaped? Oh my god, they're everywhere. Pandas all over spawn. What is this? I think the pen was right there, so it looks like they have been intentionally released. Pandemonium. That's crazy. That's a lot of pandas. We're just gonna roll with it. But speaking of entities mysteriously being transported, appearing, disappearing, someone has been spotted who we haven't seen in a long time. All right, I wasn't planning on pumping this up the whole way up here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, independent horse. He's back. So he was found roaming in the mountains. Despy said on the Discord, I got a message yesterday when I logged in. Independent horse has been found. He tied him up down here, right next to the sign. I realize I'm just running up and down this hill, but that's what's happening for now. There we go. So I had this sign here for the reward for independent horse. That's where he left him, right down here in a little hole. So I took him up there, wrote him up, left this here, and I also sent him a message telling him about that. I still have the saddle, but an independent horse does not wish to be ridden, so I'll have to return it. He lives right down there. His was the house that caught on fire. Just glad we found him safe. So I think this is just what I'm going to do for him. I'm just going to leave him back here. If he wants to roam back wherever he went in the mountains with his friends, he can do that. If he wants to stick around, good. I just wanted to know that he was safe, and now I do. So he'll probably be safe going forward. He can handle himself. That's a lot of random horse BS in my inventory. I don't even know what to do with all that. The storage situation is getting unpleasant. Oh, come on. Promise one day it'll be organized. Or want that, just in case. I got a power 2 bow from a skeleton with a decent durability on it, so I might be able to shoot these 2 arrows if I remember that I have it. All right. So we are working on these sections of the roof. There was a fire, I think, the other day. I repaired some of that, but some of it still is burnt up. I didn't see the fire. I just think it must have been a fire. Apparently they happen all the time. Let's see. So I need wood. I thought I just chopped wood before I logged off last time. Where would I have put that? good thing to keep in mind when you're playing Minecraft is to occasionally punch a tree. Like you get into the habit of thinking that you want to do something better and better, so you want to do it like the rightest way possible or the most efficient way. But it can be really satisfying, and I don't know. I think it's part of like the core gameplay to have that experience where mining stuff takes longer. So I wouldn't advise everyone to do like I do and take a vow of poverty, but even if you don't do that, you know, take a day off from that like super gear every once in a while, because there's something different about playing the game at that speed that it was kind of meant to be played. I don't know. That's just what I think. That's not really the reason I do it. The reason I do it is because I don't want to run back and get a stone pickaxe. But that's a good reason I thought of to do it. Whenever I feel anxiety, I always like get super focused on trying to find the cause of it. Like it's a part of the anxiety itself to try and like figure out. You have to be able to figure out. Come on, figure out what's wrong. You should be okay here. Maybe that in some way that like is anxiety. But whenever I get it, I get like focused on trying to find the answer. Like what exterior thing is causing it? Or sometimes, because I've always kind of assumed that, I guess it's not an assumption on my part exactly. I've always thought that, I've always thought that like, if I'm feeling anxious, something must be wrong. Because it feels like something's wrong. So what is it that's wrong? Either something outside you needs to change, or you need to like change your pattern of thinking in a way that you don't have it. It's like the message it tells you is that it shouldn't be there. But if it's always or regularly a problem, like it has been for me, then I have never really considered till now that I could think of it as something exterior to me. Because I've always known, long enough known, that I feel that way regardless, sometimes at least, occasionally, often enough, regardless of whether external things are okay or not. Like I know that that happens. That's just like anyone who has probably even a little below average anxiety has had that experience, but some people have it a lot. Of like feeling like something is wrong when it's not. That's basically it. Or not when it's not, but feeling like something's wrong. So if I've been able to tell that there's times when, since I was a kid, that like the external experiences aren't matching here. Everything's fine, but I still feel this way. So I know that somehow, for whatever reason, I I have that happen to me, or that's just like a part of me. I'm always taking that to mean that something's wrong with me, but I've never like if something is wrong with me in a way that I couldn't possibly fix, like for example neurologically, which there's a lot of different things I just don't know much about neurology, so I can't name a bunch of them, but like if it's like a chemical issue at some level, or even just an imbalance that causes like a pattern of behavior or something that's like biological or in any way not under the control of my behavior, then I might as well think of it as exterior to me. And if I think of the not anxiety itself, but like the pattern of having anxiety often, if I think of that as something that's like exterior to me, which in a way it is, and in a way it isn't, because obviously it's like a part of my body, but just thinking about that way like I can have the same thought process, but it doesn't require me to then think like, oh, there's something wrong with me, and thus like my number one priority right now should be like correcting what's wrong with me, because that's what's causing the anxiety. But that is anxiety. Like that's just how it manifests. So I don't know. I think that's just a helpful way to think about it. Because otherwise, at least I'm sure this happens to at least some other people, but definitely to me, otherwise I get stuck in a loop of like having anxiety and like trying to figure out what's wrong with me and then having like what I need to change. And then going in that loop of trying to change things and hey, still having the anxiety because the reality is it's caused like a lot of individual, like specific events probably do cause it more often than not. But like those events can be like neurological, they can be unconscious or they can be conscious. So like no matter how much I can say like I know X is causing my anxiety right now, like a beeping sound that won't stop or something. That would be an example for me. I still don't know like what percentage of the anxiety is being provoked by that. Like it could be like the underlying amount causing that to cause a problem, like because that wouldn't bother everyone. Any whatever particular thing you're talking about. I said beeping. It's dangerous. I didn't think I would die here, but it's okay. What can I do? I have a bow. That's cheating. Let's just not fall off. We can't take a hit from an enchanted bow and survive all that fall damage. So he's probably going to hit me as a great angle. So I'm just going to try to not fall off. So I'm going to stay on this outside. Oh, God. Funnily enough, that was a great strategy. As long as I didn't get hit and fall off, see? All right. Can't remember where I was at. Yeah, I guess like the feeling of anxiety that you might have at any given moment, like right now, you probably know for sure some of the things that are contributing to it. Maybe even the thing that is contributing the most. And you probably know kind of maybe a certain percentage of it, who knows? But there's almost definitely a certain percentage, there must be, that is just whether it's neurological, which you don't know, because can't measure those kinds of things yet. If it's neurological or if it's like unconscious or like something that you're worried about but you're not thinking about right now, because that obviously causes anxiety too. Like you don't know what percentage of which thing is causing it at any given time. You can only like see what you can see. Whatever I do know about what causes anxiety or like whatever, yeah. Whatever I do know about that is definitely only a part of it, because I mean obviously if the experience is not, if you're searching for answers so often, then something's like not lining up, like it's not apparent to you. And yeah, there's certainly could be things that you just like new ways of thinking about it that will like change your perspective or whatever. But if you're searching for those kinds of things too often, which I am, then it seems like there's a good chance that you just don't know what it is that's causing it. Or you don't know. There's a significant part of it that you don't know. And that almost has to be the case anyways. If you're having that not understanding situation a lot, that almost has to be the case. Because we know there at least is something there as far as like neurological problems or even just like variation from person to person. Like if 100 people are born and they, even if they live in a perfect society, like just based on their genetics, like one of them is still going to be the most anxious of the 100 naturally, or the most anything of any trait. So, and then 10 of them will be the 10 most anxious, so like the bottom 10%. So that's not, oh God, there we go. It had to happen once at least, just because like not only do you lack understanding about yourself, you definitely do, but also like scientifically we lack a lot of understanding about stuff. So we don't even know what we don't know. Can't know. So yeah, if you're having that problem on a regular basis, then maybe you don't need to look for answers. Maybe if you just kind of do what you can, the answers will come along the way. I mean, you can keep an eye out still, but just because that search for answers like perpetuates the cycle of anxiety. Like if you're like, that thought is not going to go away if you're now like pursuing it. Or thought's not going to go away, or you're not going to be able to like move past it or overcome it if you're pursuing it, if you're instead choosing to like gratify it and spend all your time on it. So if you think of the anxiety or whatever feeling could cause stuff like this as exterior to you, or at least unknowable to you, which a certain percentage of it is, that helps, or a certain percentage of it has to be, that helps you to like at least have one less thing to be anxious about, and also, like I said, kind of move past it, or at least be aware when you're in the cycle of like trying to find a cure for life, so that you can like, once you get that cure, go on to life, go on to living, like just live with it anyways. I don't know. I just never thought about it that way before. I always thought of it when I have anxiety, I'm like running through my thoughts. What am I thinking? How is it wrong? What can I think differently? What am I looking at wrong? But if it like it, and that does work sometimes. It does work a lot actually. It's really been useful for me. But if it's not working, there's no point in doing it, because it might just be one of the infinite number of things that you will never know about and have no hope to. So you can at least just chill about that. All right, so I'm starving. I have no food. I have nothing. What happened? I died. My stuff is out here, except I've been running around as a decent